Good afternoon, evening, morning, whatever your time zone is, everybody. But welcome to Free Enterprise, and more specifically, the second day of the tournament for the Eblan Elixir League. I am Moleboy, and joining me in the comms booth today is NG Dave, and we also have Y2 Sky and Ribbon Quest with our tracking for today, and we have Neo Bari working on the restream. Hello, everybody. So Dave, I noticed we have, this is the first time that we're seeing a 4-screen kind of setup like this. Do you want to walk the audience exactly through how this is going to work?
Sure thing. I think, Moleboy, on the top half of this, in the red corner, we'll call it, we have Martin Broadcloak versus Stupid Sexy Flanders. And on the bottom in the green corner, we have Hush Pyramid versus Ikir. All four of these racers will be running the same seed tonight.
Indeed, and just for everybody's edification, Martin Broadcloak is representing Team No Springs and their Dark Master Coily. Stupid Sexy Flanders is repping for Bring Your Own Bacchus. Hush Pyramid is part of Harp Faders Anonymous, and we have Iker with the Coco Shop Quartet.
All four runners, fantastic at the game. I'm looking forward to a great race with these four.
For sure. And what go ahead.
And with this relay start, we can get some serious power right from the beginning.
Yeah, one of my favorite heroes, definitely. The downside of usually carrying Rydia in, early on is that starting 30 HP. Well, when you're the hero, you don't care about falling over, and you still get all your XP. So that is easy for leveling up. Comes online very early, and really this flag set, Rydia is probably in the top 3 of characters, just in general, much less as your hero.
Yeah, indeed. Since we have wild shops, Bahamut is guaranteed to be in an item shop somewhere.
Yep. You just hope it's not the moon, and hopefully not the hook shop if the hook is buried very deep. But I guess Leviathan's fine too.
You see, you've played some of the same practices I have.
Indeed. So just to kind of go over the objectives, so we have our standard 5 that we're always going to have. So defeating the king and queen at the top of the town, at the town of monsters. Cave Bahamut and Masa Altar and Forge are our standard 5. You're going to see that for every single seed in the Potion Party's flag set. And then along with that, today we have returning the Panda Yong's wife, trading away the rat tail, and completing the Giant of Babel. And with all 4 racers going here, there is a chance we might see somebody decide that is the play to make.
Well, and honestly, if you have underground access, darkness, and one other objective, some people are just decide I'm not gonna try to track down another objective and go.
Indeed, and we're off. So let's see what we've got to pair with this. A Sid.
Oh, that's
nice start. That opens up some stuff, and
a Sammy bow for Sid to use. Find some arrows, a little bit of strength gear, and Sid can clear your early game.
Definitely can, or at least get those, as we call it, get just enough levels for that 60 MP on Rydia, because that's when the fun starts. But let's see where different routing go. I'm sure we'll see some people go straight for Eblan Castle. That's a pretty standard play, especially with Team Money being on, which means people need cash for those wild shops. And let's see where we have people go. Okay, we have an immediate play into Damsian from Hushy P. We have the Eblan play from Martin, and Flanders is also going to Damsian with Iker hitting Mist.
Iker doing some early shop checks and getting paid out with 15k immediately in Mist.
That's a 35k Mist. That is a nice Mist Village play, yeah.
Rydia starting with a Dancing Dagger.
Didn't look like anything amazing out of Damsian Basement, but it'll at least be some money to start with.
And I know from talking to Martin, he's a huge fan of Eblan first.
I believe Pankraz, our lovely community member, did a chart of kind of the base chances for for each check, and Eblan is definitely up there. Of course, as you see with Martin, you have to play the game of finding all the trap chests, and at this point, not taking them. I kind of agree with that play. Sid has the HP to throw the hourglass, but not really any damage that you're going to be able to really quickly do.
Right, maybe if you had, maybe since there are some charm arrows, you might be able to take the Matador chest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I haven't seen anybody check equipment, so you could have the dreamed charm arrow archer start for Sid, but poison great bow ain't it. Looks like we had an Odin in the waterfall, so that's gonna be a gonna be somebody who can just sit right there. Just as a reminder, this is no free key item from Edward, so they are on the lookout for demist because that could have their progression or be required.
And a demist could always be someplace rude, like say the ribbon room.
Everybody's favorite, or on the giant, also fun.
I think this would be slightly less rude there than normal, just because you're going there. It's an objective.
That's true. Okay, we got an Octomam in Antlion, so hopefully this won't keep them too long, though. Again, we're Dancing Dagger start on Rydia.
Yep.
That is a high roll right there.
That and Sid's arrows. Your Octomam here is not going to be long for this world.
No. Okay, let's see what Flanders manages to get from Antlion. Survey says the Legend Sword,
Yeah,
so half a forge. You're happy
keeping
with that? You're definitely walking that one out. This looks like we might have the first check for Hobbs and the first check for who's in the bed in Kaipo. Artemis Bow's in Kaipo as well, a good call out.
Yeah, Martin's showing us Agard, a heroin rope there. That's a pickup.
100%. Anything you can. That's the other advantage of Rydia as a hero, is being able to do the agility manipulation. Also, the Dwarf Axe gives Sid. Well, Sid had bow back row, but if you find a cane or anything like that, or if you just need to slow Sid down so he never takes any turns.
We have these Lunars sitting on Hobbs.
Yeah, this is a bit of a mean Hobbs check. He might have to come back because Thor Rage I don't think is going to be it. Jamak also calling out that we spotted our crystal rings. Those are going to be an insta-buy for a fair number of players.
Yep. And Glass Hat.
Yeah, Glass Hat's in Mysidia. Now, a little bit less important for Rydia with that heroin robe. Also, cheers for anybody who plays the Odin only shop drinking game.
Yeah, that drinking game is dangerous in this flag set with no J items.
I mean, it pretty much is going to happen once a game, right?
Close to it. And we see Flanders also against D-Lunars weaponizing these Cure 2 potions to get through.
Yep. A really good play. Definitely more effective than the Thor Rages, as we see like Flanders in second out first when it comes to that. Oh, and with the tele pickup, we have Flanders going to Weho.
Ike's in a little danger here. D-Lunar's got its breath off.
Oh dear. This might be a wipe. I don't think.
Okay.
Maybe you can get the Dancing Dagger off.
Fortunately, Sid got punched and was able to get a wipe up.
But this is gonna be tight. Come on. I believe.
On Rydia, get
believe in that Dancing Dagger.
Oh, Dancing Dagger.
Yeah, the Cure 2 is a really heads-up play here with Frog to Sid, because you can still do that, and it's going to do actual damage. Okay, well, that is...
Ike recovers, so great job, Ike.
Alright, and since I missed the bed before, I did not actually catch it that time, because Martin moved too quick on my screen. Did anybody have... Honeydew, I see what you did there. This is my golf clap. But did anybody happen to see who was the in the bed in Kaipo? Because Martin moved too fast for me, and I was glued to Iker's epic D-looter battle. I actually don't know if Hushed Pyramid actually checked the bed. Now that I think about it, he might have just run through Kaipo otherwise. So we got Martin discovering the Odin. Oh, and we have Iker making the front of Hobbs play. Let's see what somebody gets. That is D-Mist, I believe.
That is Miss Dragon. Oh no, that I think it's Shiva.
Oh no, yeah, Shiva. A little bit more useful in general than D-Mist, just because of Rydia's not exactly high HP totals, which the Mist Dragon spell summon is actually based off of.
The Hush Pyramid taking on the D-Lunars as well. Sid making short work of them.
Yeah, I don't know what he picked up that gave him. He at least picked up something that gave him a modifier or a multiplier there.
That looked like Artemis arrows, just
that would
fire arrows or something. White arrows, just something some sort of.
Too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say a lot of people that the Artie Bow also, yeah, as Y2 Sky is calling out, if he picked up the Artie Bow, that's also a game changer too, just with the 10 agility, 10 strength, giving at least one multiplier to Sid. Okay, we have Martin now making his way to Hobbs. Kind of in general right now, we kind of got a little bit of a down period as people have kind of made their initial checks, done their initial looting, and are now kind of exploring across the same checks that we've had here. That we do have Hush Pyramid checking out Fabool, which we have not seen anybody check yet. That is the good old-fashioned wee-woo shop.
I don't see many players shopping at the Wii Woo store.
Not as much, but that is a Stardust Rod, and that is going to be a pickup for pretty much everybody.
Yes.
Let's see. Yeah, I mean, massive boost to Rydia. Basically helps you pretty easily clear the rest of this overworld. Almost by itself. We have Iker contemplating a glass hat and deciding to take it. Martin not even hesitating, those Tier 2s flying out like they're going out of business. One of the nice things about those Tier 2 pots as well is just avoiding a lot of the counter scripting that the D-Lunars have, so it just makes this a much cleaner and safer fight in general. Oh. And Martin is through.
We see in Eblan, for those of us fans of Boston Root locations, this is not your seed. DKC is invading Kabul.
Yes, and this is, you want to see DKC more like here, because if you see him in the Fey March, if you see him at, say, Cave Bahamut, that objective is just kind of dead to you at that point. So, I didn't actually total what Weho gave, so let's see what we got. 19, 24, okay, 46, that is a legit amount of cash.
And that's half of another objective from defending Fabul. That's a rat tail.
Yeah, so we've got good value from the overworld so far. Not too much in the way of bonks yet.
Sheila's Closet, we don't talk about that.
Was it? Usually I find like Sheila's Closet tends to cough up the goods, but every so often, Yong's kind of already gone out and partied. There's not enough lot left over.
That kind of seed. That was 560 GP from the closet.
I don't know if I've ever had one quite that bad, so Yong living life large apparently, and there's not a lot left over.
I thought monks were all about that austere life.
I mean, I guess it depends on your brotherhood. Okay, we've got Martin, just seeing the difference when you're geared versus doing these checks earlier. Also, Martin's going to be able to exit out of Antlion, so that's a major pickup there, as we've kind of got people crisscrossing again.
Right, Martin spent that little bit of extra time looting at the start, but it's already paying off.
Not having, like, one of the major things here is, like, the advantage of the Eblan Castle play is it's going to take you a little bit longer, but you theoretically have just more money on hand, so you're not having to mark as many things down in shops because you can buy them when you're there. Okay, we have Pyramid heading into the Ordeals check now as Martin goes to Fabul, going to be happy to find that Stardust Rod. Flanders, I believe in Troya, kind of checking out what we've got. We've got a Cure 2 shop. I didn't see what the other item shop had. Doing a little Troya looting. Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen anybody loot this, so let's see. Does it pay off for him? Not terrible. And he's got exit. Sometimes you need that little bit of spending money to buy, you know, what's, you know, obviously one of the things sticking in a lot of these players' mind is going to be like, can I hang on to that 85k so I can buy Bahamut when it shows up?
Hiker chose to buy Sylph right now just to give Rydia some firepower.
So, yeah, I don't hate this either because it's like it gives you a little bit of firepower on that, and also you don't have a lot of healing for your team at this point, so just having this access also very helpful.
For certain people in chat, looking at Hush Pyramid's side, I think we need to give a healthy doot.
Indeed, we have the doot happening as we speak. At looks to be Ordeals 1. Martin showing off the power of that Stardust Rod and quickly clearing this Dark Knight Cecil as we have Iker looting a little bit more of Antlion. And, oh, I think we have Flanders doing the Updog check.
Oh, what's up, dog?
Exactly.
Oh,
it's definitely one of those if you know, you know kind of things. And it makes sense if you think about it. Just don't think about it too hard. Ooh, back attack Dimp. So we're getting a couple, like, mean bosses taken off the table. Because, like, fun fact, with the no free bosses flag on, these Dark Imps that usually people consider to be quote-unquote free can be really vicious in certain spots. Because if they're fast and they're punching you, it hurts.
The good news is we have a Stardust Rod. We can swing around and do AoE damage to a 3-target boss.
This is true, and that helps immensely. But also, just being in this spot, it's not like they're punching all that hard.
That's very true.
Did Pyramid not pick up the Stardust Rod? Because that looked like he was dancing daggering. Oh, okay. That makes more sense. Okay, we've got... Man, I really want to see what kind of value we get for Flanders here as Martin starts going up Ordeals.
And
okay, they should be fine, even though this is a little bit of a slow hit, but let's see what we've got.
Their value in the doggo, there it is.
The Baron key, interesting. So potential value could be nothing. I mean, you're not sad to see it, at least you got a key item, but then you're also looking and going, well, what is this going to give me? What can I make use of this? Because that is a long check.
And more importantly, do you remember who gave us our starting key item?
You know what? I do not. Does chat happen to know who gave us the sweet, sweet samurai bow?
Ah,
it was a sparkle.
Our researcher was saying it was a sparkle. That's why I don't remember it.
Yeah. And some French vanille, as they say, with the karate and Baron in 1.
The Baron guards are guarding Ordeals and...
Hey, and it looks like Ordeals is the magma key.
Yeah, you're not fading that today.
No, and we finally... you know what? That might be the first mist check that I saw for Cave Mist, but Cave Mist is Leviathan, so no vanilla King of Monsters, and again, one of those spots that... Or one of those bosses, rather, that you're not totally unhappy to see there. Alright, let's see what we got here in the Baron Weapon Shop.
Got Samurai
Damn
arrows?
Mute Dagger? Could be a pickup?
Mute Dagger, I find in this flag set is snap by.
Yeah, I think it's worth a spec buy being only like 10k. Even if you don't technically have anybody who can really use it right now.
Especially because I don't believe we've seen a single mage boss yet. Well,
No,
we just saw the Baron guards, but Flanders doesn't know that.
Yeah. And there is that section of people who think Rydia should be allowed to hit things. And I believe she can equip the Mute Dagger. And if we hadn't already seen the Stardust Rod, it's still a +5 wisdom item, so...
We did see Water Hag at Baron in 2.
Yep.
Holding the hook, so that's a rat tail turn in for our runners.
That's the rat tail turn in. Also, just the 2 trap chests in Eblan on the hook route are both fairly high value, or high potential value, just because they're a single check for a single key item, and that's one of those things that you're hoping to find. So that could end up being worth a ton. I know at least some of these runners will probably check that sooner rather than later. Oh, and the power of having that Stardust Rod to just immediately do this and clear that Baron Guards fight. Hey, hook in hand, Iker is now raising the hovercraft, so probably going to take a trip south and set up that Eblan Castle, Eblan Cave check. Now that you got a little bit more power. Maybe do our deals first, just so you can stone the trap chests, but that's going to depend on how Iker's feeling.
And we might see the character check first too, just to grab the character, and if it's Cecil, you want to get levels on him right away.
Yep, no, that's a thing too. Just to mention, as part of this flag set, so Cecil can exist, but he is restricted, as they refer to it. So that means that has to be in a location gated by a key item. So Zot, Hook Route, Giant, Dwarf Castle, yes.
Could be Package, Sand Ruby.
We've already Dark
True.
Knight Cecil was guarding for Bullnets, guys, so DKC is off the table.
Also, the Rat Tail turn-in gives us the other half of Forge.
Interesting. Okay, so that's gonna be happy to see. I mean, the good news, bad news about forging with Rydia Hero is there's only one item, which is the Mist Whip. But it means you know what you're getting, and you now have a spare Stardust Rod for that Tello.
I would not be upset about this at all.
Nope. And now we have Martin electing to take the trap chests. Makes sense. He's got a powered up Tello. Oh, and basically just making sure to get the life glitches on these because he's got enough power on Sid to one-shot him. Guessing he's got Charm Arrows or one. I'm guessing Charm Arrows and an Artie Bow, so that'll make sense there, but easily cleaving these.
I think Mute Arrows, but they both work.
Yeah. The other thing that is also super nice about this is he did not have to expend an Hourglass, which means he's got one available for when he hits Underground and can do the Warrior Chest. Okay.
And we got to look at the Cave Eblan shops. Ether 2s in the item shop are nice.
Yeah, again, you're still hoping for that Bahamut to show up, and you're, like we've talked about, hoping it's not on the moon. Iker elected to not even risk the trap chest. This looks like a dive just to check the character. Well,
hey, remember what I said about checking first case at Cecil so you can get levels on him?
Yep. Especially because we also know you're going to have to route through ordeals. That's going to be interesting. So we've got Flanders as an update. It looks like he's doing a little bit of his catch-up shopping for shops he hadn't checked yet as he's kind of running through. Martin doing the Eblan traps. We'll see what value they end up having.
Also, I may have missed it. Where did the magma key come from?
Magma is from ordeals.
Ah, that's right.
And the hook is in Baronin. That's why Martin has one, but not the other. It didn't look like. I mean, got levels, got some functional items, but Eblan kind of a miss, which is a little surprising here.
Yeah, a rune axe from that chest.
I mean, with Sid and Mage Boss is still out there, you don't hate it,
True.
but it's not the value you're hoping for, right?
Especially because we know the guy is out there.
Yeah, I mean, Martin is probably going to route this into Baron Inn, I would expect, and just clear his overworld. And knowing Martin, he will probably elect to check that hook route sooner rather than later just because of those trap chests. So he'll probably be walking into that Cecil fairly soon. But at this point, yeah, the only one who's actually found Cecil is Iker. I don't think we've seen Crystal Swords yet, interestingly enough, in any of the shops.
I don't believe so.
Or Excals. No, Y2 Sky is saying we have seen it, so that is my miss. And we've got Hush Pyramid now going underground and going ahead and forging, which is going to be most people's immediate move for that. But let's see where Martin heads now. Martin going to Baron Inn, so he's going to be getting his hook shortly.
So maybe we'll get a look at the sweet. Maybe we'll look at the sweet S Wild Forge shop.
Yeah, and that is indeed a forge shop.
That's a shop that
Premium
exists.
Coal Darkness Gauntlets. Everybody's favorite.
There were premium coal elixirs in there at least.
Yeah, the ones that will probably not get picked up because people will buy other things. But all right, we've got Martin going in against his water hag now. Looks like Flanders is now checking Aggerts, and now we have the back through of going through Eblan traps. Or Eblan cave traps, rather. I believe he already took the Mad Ogre chest, so now he's just searching for Staleman on his way out. There it is. Trap chest's really not given a lot of value today so far. Baron Key being the only pickup I think we've seen from Flanders' side.
Yeah, that's it. I believe I saw Pyramid go into the Job Dwarf room and not talk to Job Dwarf.
That's disappointing on a very personal level. And there's the Bahamut sitting in Tamra. So that's a huge boost for a lot of this setup.
And with the Mist Whip, you know Riddy is going to have that 15 wisdom.
Yep. I mean, and I think everybody at this point has purchased the Stardust Rod. We've got Tamra also having an Avenger, which is going to be something pretty much everybody's going to want to pick up with that Cecil being on the board.
I'd like to shout out on Iker's side. We had a Shiva cast.
We did for, I believe, the Sand Ruby, it looked like, from the Staleman.
It was a Sand Ruby, and Stalemen are in fact weak to ice.
They are. So in the absence of things like Blarg, which everything is technically weak to, yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. So we've got a hook on Martin's side now, and we've got Flanders about to get the guy. But yeah, let's see what if this, like you said, if this Pinktail hands out a crystal sword or something nice for Cecil, that's gonna be good news for Martin.
So also found in Tamra, we have the full Cecil kit. Well, most of it. Yeah, the power shirt, the angry stick.
Yeah, that'll do. It is an arrow, but at the same time, I'm never gonna look Artemis arrows in the eye, right? That's I'm never sad to see those.
They will do bad things to a wyvern at a high HP spot.
Yep. I think I guess we've seen 2 of the dragons, because Pale Dim is off the board, as is D-Lunars, but thank you, Ribbon. That is also good advice.
And we still have the old Lunar Alt Gauntlet that featured dragons.
Yep. And with all of this clearing, our runners are going to be in real good shape money-wise as they purchase the extant things they still need for their kits. Martin sitting with a casual, 67 grand. It's a number. White and Wizard as well. I don't know if we... Okay, Mura... Okay, I don't hate the Dragon Whip pickup. If you need to agility manipulate Rydia, that's another option. I believe it's 5 and 5.
It is. With the Heron Rope, that gets you plus 20 agility, so if you need to outspeed something, there you go.
Yep. And the Blard paying off for Pyramid is he's able to just blast through these trap chests without even blinking. And we've got Flanders and Martin kind of running in parallel through the through the hook route right now. The one thing I just realized though is that Martin is up the entirety of Ordeals.
Right, so Martin will have Paladin Cecil online.
Yep, I think he will be the only one who's done the hook route so far that has, because neither Iker or Flanders have done Ordeals, though Iker is heading there now, which makes sense because hey, you picked up Paladin or you picked up Cecil. Maybe you should do that. And it looks like Sid more than able to one-shot these Dalemen, so that's good to see.
Of course, Sid had to go in.
And then he low rolls immediately as I say that, but here we are. There we go. So that's gonna be, oh, it looks like I was incorrect. Sandruby is in fact out of Stalemen, not out of Mad Ogres.
It's a lot to keep track of with K-Trap.
It's true. I mean, the thing I personally love is the fact that one of the things that's always going to be a worry is you see the guy is, the hook was available for Baron in. So in the back of your mind as you're doing this, you're like, how long has my opponent had the guy? And have they been able to leverage him?
Yeah, again, we see a lot of runners tracing their footsteps, and hopefully it self kills. Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's not great. That's not what you're hoping to see, for sure.
The good news is this spot has no physical attack, so Sid is completely safe.
Yes, no, they'll get through it. It's just like, and I guess at this point too, still DKC, so you're not carrying as much that he didn't get the experience.
Yeah, I thought that spot had more magic than that. That's my mistake.
Yep. And then Martin, basically it looks like probably just putting the plan into motion of being able to life glitch these ogres, because, Sid can one-shot him. He's got spare hourglasses, because I don't think Martin used a single hourglass from during Eblan Castle, so he's got, extras to use on the warrior chest, he's got extras to use here, hair dryers is also on the table once darkness shows up, etc. So, not a bad position to be in. And that looked like a sweet dwarf axe for Cecil. Unless that was the hand axe.
Gotta be the hand axe if it's a starting weapon.
That's true, because you can't start with the others. So.
Yeah, the dwarf is a 4.
Good start. And then this is being the other kind of small advantage for Martin, is being able to just warp into an exit and just call us good. And we'll see where everybody ends up going. So Iker clearing this back attack Baron. Flanders realizing that the bed is in fact Tella, which I believe Pyramid might be about to find out, unless he is just going here to buy. I mean, crystal rings and sorcerer's robes are not bad.
Yeah, I could see a return here for that. That is the Rydia kit.
And looks like Martin is gonna go ahead and head under. Hopefully check Tomra and find that Bahamut Orb to give him a little bit more oomph, and then we'll go from there. Flanders picking up that Stardust Rod, debating a Rune Ring or two.
Are we gonna see Pyramid take another swing at this Dwarf Castle?
Maybe. This is, I mean, with only the 3 people, I guess I just realized, is Pyramid the only one who's not gone hook route now then?
Pyramid did not go down it.
Because doing Dwarf Castle with that 4th character would feel a lot better. But... yeah, no, I get you, Jade Run. Like, that's the concern, right? Is the longer you're not having Cecil, albeit we don't have, like, the super overpowered Cecil yet, but... yeah, Valid Dwarf 1 is a little rough, yeah. Especially with this party.
We see Flanders going up ordeals, going to get the Magma Key, find underground access. Martin turning in the Forge.
Mm-hmm. And I am pretty sure that both of the magic and evasion here is pretty bad for Valid Dwarf 1.
Yeah, this is not a fun spot.
Yeah. This is probably a reset. All right, so yep, we've decided that is a no-go. Let's see, we've got Hiker coming down off of ordeals, and Flanders, I think, going into ordeals too. All right, the check that we've all been waiting for, that moment where you find Blarg and you feel that sense of relief. And I appreciate the... oh, go ahead.
Let's say, since it's underground, at least you know that... I agree on that relief that you didn't just miss it somewhere.
Yep. I also appreciate... I think this is the good move for Pyramid is... let's just accept that Dwarf Castle is what it is. And we're going to just move on to something else that might have value that we know we can take.
Like summoning an Angry Dragon God of Warriors?
Yeah. One thing I'm curious about is whether or not Pyramid had the Heroine Robe on Rydia.
Has to have with that damage. That's...
well, 57 would be no Heroine Robe. I meant
was that
for
5? I thought I saw 2.
No, it was 5. It was 5700, so that's not a Heroine Robe.
That's not a Heroine Robe.
But for Dwarf Castle, like, problem is the Heroine Robe getting you fast enough to hit at least once on Blarg. With Valvalis is the problem is with the Heroine Robe your damage is going to be reduced, so you're just not gonna have that damage there. Let's see if Martin knows out immediately.
You'll have a Mistwhip, so Heroine Robe Mistwhip?
But it's still, you're not going to one-shot, right? Because it's probably looking at like, 3 to 4-ish, maybe?
No, I was thinking, put the Mistwhip, the Heroine Robe, Crystal Ring on, and Zerker.
You got well, you've also got a Tiara, so you actually might be able to do appreciable damage before she spins. We'll see. Nope. So this is probably a reset for Martin. Okay, we'll come back to that. So Martin probably gonna follow Pyramid in going through ordeals, flight school, and getting that Zeus Gauntlet, which is honestly going to be a little bit more useful for Martin with the Cecil than probably for Sid.
That Zeus Gauntlet would be great to let Rydia Zerk through the Val if it wasn't exactly after the Val. You could equip it.
Hmm. Yeah, fun fact for those of you not aware, Rydia can in fact equip the Zeus Gauntlet, but only in her adult form.
Which makes sense. The Zeus Gauntlet would probably just fall right off her hands.
I mean, Child Rydia is apparently not supposed to hit things, despite what we end up doing in this game most times, so...
That's a Fey March. The right side is super free if you have the Cecil.
Yes.
But let's
gonna go with a little bit less so, yeah. Yep. Mark, you know, I get this, like, you don't have the weapon yet for Cecil, so you're just gonna go ahead and give that to Sid. I did spot Excal sitting in the Feymart shop, so if Martin checks that, then that's a another choice. And interesting that so Flanders at this point is just making his way underground, has that Baron key. I don't believe did Baron Castle yet, so we've not seen what if any value comes out of that. But probably going to be going through a lot of what Martin is already going through of, let's go Forge, let's go to Dwarf, let's no longer go to Dwarf, it's a silly place, and proceed from there. That is a very interesting item as well for Cecil. That opens up a lot of cover strat boss choices. That's the Forehead Shop, Ashura only.
With stuff to make cover Cecil online, like a glass hat, crystal ring, crystal armor.
Well, the thing is that they did get a moon veil out of the Feymarch freebie. So that's at least one boss that we can just... Martin is rethinking his choices of purchases as he sells everything to buy that Excal.
I can think of a really good boss down in Feymarch that moon veil would be great against.
Yep. Let you take it a lot earlier. Now, there is an argument for, do you just take it now? Do you... You know, how do you decide to handle it? But we'll find out.
As Tibble and Chad's pointing out, throw the moon veil on Rydia and let her blarg things.
Yep. I mean, I don't know if Martin has any... Martin decided to come back, which is fair. I was going to say, I don't know... Even with that souped-up Rydia, I don't know if you have the... gas tank to actually take down that.
You'd probably need like 6 casts, so you're gonna need 2 Ether 2s.
Mm-hmm. So interesting. Martin's setting up Sheila 1 here, probably, maybe checking the front side of Sylph Cave. We'll see. Trying to put a Zeus Gauntlet on Tella. I'm 99% sure that doesn't really work. Good call out by Tybalt. So Ether 1's in Martin's inventory, but again, if you're relying on that moon veil, that's just going to be maybe a slow fight, and that could just be his call, is this is just going to take too long with where I'm at right now.
And there's the bad news. There's Pyramid getting the bad news that there's been a Cecil there all along.
Yeah, I'm sure Pyramid is not happy to find this now.
Like, you're through the warriors, getting some levels on his party.
Getting a Zeus Gauntlet.
Yeah, the guy wants
Martin,
his glove.
Yep, and Martin just doing front side of Sylph, it looks like, as he runs down to Yang. I think we probably don't see the full clear here, but you know you're going to need to do it. There's the off chance that Sheila is the pan. You know, all those fun situations.
And I like clearing the front half like this when you're going instead of Sheila 1.
Yeah, the one thing that I wonder if Martin just didn't think about is, like, I didn't see him cast Float, so unless he's intentionally setting up cover strats, but that's kind of its own thing. Are we gonna be okay, I think he's through. Okay, fair enough.
And I think Cecil forgot the important part of cover strats.
Not dying.
A very important step.
I mean, the trap chest goes down to the same thing that most things go down to in this game, a Bahamut cast.
turns out large non-elemental damage. Effective versus almost everything.
Mm-hmm. And just in time for Cecil to get that sweet heal that he can now cast on Tella.
And a second Moon Veil.
That is huge. That is another potentially completely ridiculous boss that would become free.
And you mentioned the Baron Key. Flanders is chasing it.
Okay, you know, let's see what it's got. I mean, this could be a very big brain play.
Yeah, if this is darkness, if this starts from Baron, this race just got real spicy.
It is, because that's going to be, unless like Martin gets the Earth Crystal and chases it, there's not a lot of incentive to just go check Flame Dog right now. So, yes, the Flame Dog check could be that. Agreed, Rybon, it is a long check, so Flanders needs this to pay out. If this is a bonk, this is going to feel really bad, especially because you don't have any objectives tied to it. You don't have Basement, you don't have Liberate Baron, but we'll see.
And I agree with what Funnel Cakes is saying. You did the dive to get to Flame Dog and found this. Chasing it's a good play.
Hey, and Martin coming up with a Mura from his second trap chest.
Leviathan here, can I interest you to the lag boss?
Yeah, I'm just thinking it's interesting to me just because you've got maybe Martin's just forgetting that he's got a Tella, but why you're not casting float, so you're not spending all this time casting all your cures? Oh, there, he just moved it, and that fun stuff, but yeah, that being one of the nice things is having Tella so that you just don't have to worry about any of these damage tiles. Much more important on the back of Sylph, I would say, than the front side of Sylph, but still an interesting experience nonetheless.
Yeah, especially because the last 3 rooms are all poison tiles.
Yep. Okay, now we've got the pickup, so cleared the front side of Sylph. Good to have that checked off. Not really any value from this point, but let's see where Martin decides to go.
Yeah, it looks like the King of Baron today was 4 fiends in a trench coat.
Yeah, it's Kainatsu and his buddies just, decided to hang out together. Fair enough.
So Kainatsu wasn't taking over Baron, was just throwing a house party, is what you're saying.
Apparently. I mean, I'm curious to see what Martin does here. It didn't look like he did a safety, or did a save below ground, so that feels like possibly we're doing the Flame Dog check after this, just to kind of follow on, depending on what Sheila gives here.
Eicher has decided, both Eicher and Pyramid have decided they're going to pick a fight with this Fey March right now.
Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, with the reset, I am assuming, okay, there was a save there. But nothing from Sheila. So this Baron might have value, and Martin also going to do the up dog check. Yeah, I think this Dark Elf, if you bought the Excal, relatively free.
What's their value in Doggo? To be determined.
I missed what it was. Was it the Tower Key?
The Tower Key.
Okay. So, if Martin decides to chase it immediately, I think that's probably not bad, because he's at least... I look over and I see the sprite set, and I'm like, oh, and then I'm like, nope, this is odd, not in fact that. But I think if he's above ground, and especially with his power level, I'm gonna guess he clears this probably before going back down, but I could be wrong. He could decide something else. But at least if he gets that Tower Key, he's only single dipping Zod, so, or Lower Babel, sorry.
Now we see Dark Elf being a little bit rude on Pyramid's side, deciding to punch the angry Cecil.
Yeah, and this is where things get a little bit more interesting with this fight, right? Is the dragon mode in a lot of ways is a lot scarier, and the speed kicks in. So Pyramid might be in trouble here unless this is the kill.
Don't think this kills. We didn't get a crystal sword swing in.
Yeah, and along with the
does.
there you go. I was gonna say too is that the majority of the HP for the Dark Elf is on that side, so that also adds to the fun.
Apologies for that queen. That was safer than I thought it was.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a king Dark Elf.
It's not gonna punch nearly as hard, but it punches hard enough with the current power levels these teams have.
It's also the extra 14,000 HP.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Martin thinking about one thing, changing his mind, kind of deciding what he wants to do here, and looks like we are going to Kaipo. That the crystal sorting Kaipo? Is that what we're looking for?
I think this is the crystal ring shop.
Oh, that would explain it.
May have been checking the note, the
note as you spin around.
The note to be like, where was it?
Yeah, because I wouldn't think Martin would go shopping for a crystal sword. Once you bought that Excalibur, you're just kind of in that mode of, an Excalibur is good enough until I hit a bonk that gives me something else. So.
Pyramid versus the Antlion. There's the Moonveil coming out.
That is not what you want to see when Moonveils are getting thrown. Yeah.
That's board AI doing board AI things, everyone.
Okay, and this makes sense to me. We've got Flanders heading into the tower, which completely makes sense when you've got the tower key.
That does. And Martin going after Dwarf. We did see this time around Pyramid gets the Moonveil up, so this fight is now super free.
Yep. Swapping over to the Mist Whip, start blarging. So that'll be 2 objectives down for, or 3 for Pyramid, so that's great to see. I mean, at this point, you're just getting Berserk onto Cecil and calling it good. With the X-Cal, he should still be doing, damage. So that'll be putting it at, like, 1,200, so not super fast, but now this is basically free, or as free as we're gonna get. Now it's just a matter of throwing Cure 2s on your weak to party members and hoping that you don't have something like Ogopogo in the second spot.
I don't believe we've seen Ogopogo yet. We've seen Plague, we've seen
Levy, so Levy is at least off the table. He's hanging out in Mist Cave, but...
Flanders finding the pan from tower and deciding to leave to go check it.
Fail. Interesting. Okay. I mean, it is an objective.
That's true. So that's going to be objective number 3 on the board.
Yep. So that is a free open one. So it remains to be seen whether or not that tower key, the Baron key tower chain, is going to have value or not. And Martin threw that valve that nobody else has been able to take yet. So this, if this has value, that's going to be a huge payoff for him because everybody else kind of had to come back later, and it's easy enough.
Well, a little bit of comedy after the Val.
Yeah, sometimes you need a good old-fashioned vanilla. I've heard it's great as an ice cream, and here we go.
Fantastic ice cream, especially put a little bit of.
Alan being just kind of a little bit of a whatever character, but not quite getting it, but. I mean, that Cecil will probably come close to one-shotting Golbez if he doesn't get eaten.
Yeah, with the X-Scowl. But
this being an extra disincentive to not do Dwarf, so if Dwarf's got 2 key items checks. If either of these have value, then it's gonna get real interesting. Okay, not exactly what you wanted. You were hoping Rydia was still up to throw a Star Veil, but here we go. Does Martin win the 50-50?
Find out right now. He does.
Yep, and Pan is just a Bahamut. Oh, he does not. It's too slow. Dang it. Okay. So Martin might go back in here then. So no value aside from the objective on the Pan. So where's Martin gonna check next?
We did see Hushed Pyramid through both Feymarch bosses has 4 objectives completed.
Yeah, no, he's sitting in a really good spot. Really, it's just where the darkness is buried at this point, right?
Pretty much. And going with the tower place, so we know Pyramid's gonna find number 5.
Yep, he's about to get the Pan, and then that just leaves one more to figure out. We know the darkness is required because 3 of our objectives are gated behind it.
And
It'll be
no avoiding the whale today.
Nope. It'll be very interesting to see if Martin immediately ducks out with the Pan, or if Martin just keeps pushing, because I believe this is the Pan chest.
Ike, you're in much better shape against this Golbez, having a 1300 HP character standing.
That is usually a much better chance, yeah. And the reminder of, because this is the vanilla spot, the magic is not super strong.
Nope, it's just a single roll here.
Yep. Okay, so that's Martin with the Pan. Let's see what else he manages to pick up here. Flanders, I had not realized, had not yet gone to Eblan, so backtracking into those trap chests that we know really don't have much, but he's got to check them to be careful. Interesting, a Twin Harp also, so if something's gated behind that, that could be huge. Pyramid electing to make the same call of, I got the Pan, I'm leaving, I'm outies. And some sweet Hanzo Steel for Sir probably not appearing in this flag set, because we've only got 1 more character, I think, out there that we haven't seen. Or do we have 2?
We have 2. The 5 we see on
Ikers are the 5 that we have. Okay. And we're going to find out whether or not we have any value.
Iker, the first one through Dwarf Castle.
Yeah, we're going to see if there's any value from this Dwarf Castle.
This will be interesting if it's darkness here, because everyone's bounced off it, so this may end up being the last location.
Mm-hmm. We still have a fair number of things still out there. We have not seen the tower key check. We haven't seen top of tower, and we still have self-trap chests. So, but this will be some really good information to see what drops here.
Warp Glitch gives Vanilla Darkness.
So that is huge. We will... So that puts most of our runners into go mode. It also means that Martin, that tower keychain that Flanders has, is not required.
And we know it can't lead to any value.
Yeah. Nor does the Twin Harp. For all of our Twin Harp...
Yep. Heart Fader's Anonymous. Yeah, Heart Fader's Anonymous gotta be loving that.
Yep, vindicated. It's gonna be... Yeah, this makes sense from Flanders. Is gonna do the Sheila check. Looks like he's going into... I mean, Bahamut at top, this is a pretty free fight. I'm just gonna call out for the people that are saying they've been vindicated by Fading Harp. Harp has no value until it does.
And when it had value, oh, did it have value?
I'm assuming that was a misclick possibly from Martin in the fact that he just chocoboed instead of Bahamutting Bahamut.
It's fine. No, it's Bahamut coming. Or
Oh no, the chocobo already went off. He got the correct guess.
that was a Swagabo, clearly.
The ultimate Swagabo that you're casting it when the enemy has full HP.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
Makes it much sense as anything else we do with this rando at times.
This is true. So we've got Flanders checking the back of Sylph. Well, I was about to say Swagabo, and then I realized that was the shake for Mega Nuke, not the shake for not the shake for dying. But hey, he got through. And possible reset. We'll see what we get from here. The Earth Crystal, interesting.
You got to keep that.
Yep, especially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, he was already at 10 key items, but I think you walk out. He's probably, hopefully, going back to Dwarf first. That's going to be Looming. He bounced it, but now he knows to prepare for it. Has a little bit more levels. Makes sense. And is a quicker check than the Zot or Baron key checks, which are the two kind of open checks that are still looming, aside from him bonking Yang with the pan. And I'm realizing, did Flanders never pick up Bahamut because he's casting Leviathan on all of these trap checks?
Flanders has Bahamut. Leviathan works and it's just cheaper.
That's fair, and cast slightly quicker, so that's also a consideration.
Bahamut came from Sheila too, so Flanders has it from doing the objective.
That makes sense. Alright, so where does Martin decide to go? We've got Iker checking the Moon Altar, so we'll get to see who's there, and Pyramid going through the eyeball chests.
Yeah, it might be in Martin's mind that, took a nasty kind of slow wipe there. That may be a fade until the end of the seed too.
Mm-hmm. So another Cecil on that. So where are... I guess some of the characters are good. At least one of the characters has to be on Zot, so it's some combination of Zot and Giant are our unseen characters then.
I guess and package.
That is true. We have not seen the package character.
But at this point, is there any character you would take?
No, I don't even like. I mean, Palom is just kind of. I think Palom is a potato at this point. You've got Cecil, you've got Rydia, and you've got. Yeah, you've got Cecil, you've got Rydia, and you've got Tella, and that's kind of the trifecta you need to get through most of this.
Right, maybe if you had a handful of good darts, you might take an edge.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Martin going back for the objective, getting all that, getting some cash. So where does he go from here? Does he decide to go back down with the looming Dwarf Castle? Does he do Zot? Quite a few choices. We've got Flanders doing backside of Sylph. Really not much of value that we can find there at this point because we know where the Darkness Crystal is.
And to answer question chat, there are actually 8 objectives, and we need 6 of them to complete or to win the game. There is no Z fight. We're just like we just have them grouped that we just have 5 listed for technical reasons.
Yep. To fit the layout. Okay, Martin is doing Twin Harp. Hopefully this zonks because you don't want to end up on a chain that just, as we know, will lead to nowhere.
I think it has to zonk. We're out of gaining key items.
True. Because we got Baron. Yeah, no, it'll be the spoon or something else. That is a good point. Ninja points out is like it might make sense that he's doing Twin Harp because his characters are already low HP from walking Sylph to pan bonk and then doing the pan turn in.
And having Harp and Earth, you could just.
Well, small
everything together.
upgrade is that Flanders did get a crystal sword out of all of that Sylph trap chesting. Where is he gonna? I guess he's heading to the he's heading to Dwarf Castle.
So Flanders going to get the Darkness Crystal.
Yes, does he have everything else he needs at this point? He's got Forge. He's
Forge.
returned the pan and he's done Rat Tail, so he's good to go once he gets this Dwarf Castle done.
But I think it's time for us to be quiet a little bit and enjoy the music.
Indeed.
And we get just the crystal from there, and I had no idea what it was. Fortunately, chat had her back.
Yeah, not what you're hoping for, and unfortunately, because Martin's here, he's going to be going up Zot now, just because of locationing and still staying far away from that that darkness crystal. So that's going to put him at a bit of a disadvantage. But we will see what things have in store after we get through this. We'll see what characters are up there. I noticed Flanders picked up a Porum from somewhere. I must have missed where that came from.
Baron Castle, maybe?
Oh, right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, we have an immediate encore of the harp from Hush Pyramid. A pyramid through as well, and immediately rejecting the crystal.
Yep. And kind of doing the same play of going up Zot immediately after for the routing, which makes sense. And in the meantime, Martin is through Zot 1, and we'll see what characters there are and what Zot 2 is going to look like as Flanders wraps up his fight. And
there's a seventh character.
He's going to get his darkness. Yep. So Porum and Rosa kind of filling out the group. sure Martin will be happy enough to grab Rosa for whatever needs. And I would point out, even as we have very different routing going on, that is not what you want to see at Masa.
For a runner, I think it's fine. You got a crystal sword. Or
I mean,
you have a
crystal sword or the X-Cal is fine, but other than that, like, this is still going to punch hard. Things can still go wrong. We've got Flanders picking up his Darkness Crystal. We'll see what he decides to do with that.
Flanders is in go mode now, so might see the Fey March.
That would make the most sense. We'll see. I mean, he's got Crystal Sword Cecil, so hopefully that's enough to kind of get through it.
Which means, with Flanders having the Darkness up, Martin's on the clock.
Yep, incredibly. He needs to somehow brain out needing to do Darkness or doing Dwarf Castle now, and that's his chance. But otherwise, this is going to be in Flanders' hands.
Yeah. Pyramid's also on the clock, with Iker having cleared both moon objectives.
Yep, like as mentioned with Kaipo guards at Bahamut, that is super free as well. So it's really whether or not I think that Flanders gets walled at all by either of these Fey March bosses. Luca Key coming out of Zod, and we know that is not the answer. And that is probably not Martin electing to go into Baron.
The routing is good. Just blow up the overworld, since you can just go bang, bang, bang.
But with knowing that it's not going to give the value that he's hoping for, he'll probably chase... I think he'll probably chase the Tower Keep before he chases Dwarf Castle, which again is going to just lead him down a little bit more of a rabbit hole. Okay. Pyramid taking down Mom Bomb, about to get to his fight with Luge. Flanders heading on in to start the Fey March bosses as Martin heads over to kill Plague.
And Iker just gonna go take the two Fey March bosses and end the scene here.
Okay, looks like Iker electing for cover strats by running all over those damage tiles and then just going to heal up Cecil.
Hey, you throw a glass at, you throw a crystal ring, a crystal on him. That's a lot of defense in the back row. Although you don't want to go into this with the Avenger on, yeah.
Yeah, that would not be ideal for anyone involved if you're trying to do that.
Multiple problems here. First and foremost, counters.
Yeah, and counters and not being able to cover strat when you're berserked. You know, there's a couple different things.
And the thing is, even with... Oh, Iker parried, which breaks the cover.
Yep, so fun thing to learn. You can't parry during cover strats, but you can use your weapon, which does absolutely nothing.
Yeah, the cover strats rated where Cecil's done nothing but cast Cure 2 on himself.
Yeah, he can cast and still cover, but apparently parrying... I guess they decided it was too broken because you're upping your defense or something, and it just... doesn't let you do it. Flanders, I think, is this the second try for Flanders going in?
No, Flanders did the first boss
Did
already.
the Dark Elf already. Okay, well, let's see if Martin can figure out the Darkness Crystal at this point. Since he's about to get some sort of dead item here. The tower. Oh, no, he has the tower key, so that could put him
Yeah, he's gonna
into
chase.
the tower. Yeah, it's hard to know which one he chases or which one he elects to do first. He might just be thinking that somebody else made it through Dwarf Castle quicker, and therefore they'd be done by now if that was the solution. A lot of thinking going into that, so we're going to see the tower key not pay out for Martin as Flanders is taking down his antlion. Pyramid doing somewhat the same routing as Martin with that plays, so going into Baron to fight his plague and his elements. So we've got dueling antlion fights on the other side.
Yep, Flanders is throwing the moon veil, so this fight is over.
Yep, barring
So long as
attacking for bad reasons, yeah.
as long as you have enough MP to get through it or MP restoratives. Yeah, in chat, so many Bahamut's. Yep. You love to see it, letting Rydia shine like this.
That is the proper solution to the situation, for sure.
And the moon veil gets Flanders through the antlion. And we know there's a very free boss waiting in K value.
Yep, and that will be it for Flanders, with already at 5. So just taking down the Kaipo guards and calling it good. We'll probably be giving Flanders the win here. Iker also in a very strong position as he's, I think, about to wrap up here. Was this his first
This is
or
number
his
6.
second?
This is number 6 for Iker, so this is gonna be it.
This is GG's for Iker. Well done for him.
Yeah. Iker finishing first in this restream. And this puts this, I believe, puts Coco Shop Quartet up 1-0 against the Heartfaders Anonymous.
Indeed. Speaking of, it looks like we've been joined by Iker, so good game, sir.
Thanks. GG's.
And so, what were you thinking when you found the darkness, just sending us another location behind a very angry Valvalis?
I kind of panicked because that was go mode. I'm like, oh shoot, I can finish now, and I feel underpowered. Even though I had Crystal Avenger, I wasn't sure I had the armor to take Antlion with it. First time I didn't.
Yep, and just like very heads up play with just we're not going to bother to attack. Here's a moon veil, and we're just going to blarg until we're done.
Oh, that wasn't me. I forgot I had the moon veil.
Oh,
I think I actually got the
just
moon
had
veil
it linked up.
afterward.
My bad.
Did I get the moon veil after that one? I think I did. I don't remember where I got the moon veil actually. I just remember I
Big
thought.
March Freebie was one of them. There were 2.
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
one
it
was
was.
in a
Okay,
trap
I did
chest
have one.
itself.
Yeah, I totally could have used it then, and I saw it, I picked it up, and I'm like, I never use these. I need to remember to use it, and then I forgot about it completely. Always happens.
Yep, so well done. Yeah, how did you feel about that moon? It must have felt a little clenchy going up there, like feeling like hopefully I've got enough power, but played out well with the bosses where they were.
I think I think I had a better shot at the ones on the moon because I know that spot of King Eblan is their King of Fame Arch is punchy, and yeah, it really hits hard. And the ones up on the moon may not hit as hard, and they didn't, fortunately. But I'd rather take the chance doing those and getting the XP, and that's why I took the hairdryer chest first. You grab some levels and get a Palom online with Quake. I believe he did get Quake from that, so that really helped. And then you didn't even need it for Bahamut, Cave Bahamut. It was a free fight, and then with Crystal Sword, the other one fight was free too.
No, for sure, and it's awesome. Like, I believe this was the first match for your team, and definitely starting out strong, going 1-up in this first set of matches for Coco Shop Quartet.
Yep, it's gonna get the first win. It was supposed to be a double header, but unfortunately, Fury Blizzard had an urgent work thing they had to go on yesterday, or today to tomorrow. So no double header for us yet. But I don't think they've rescheduled. I don't think the other one's scheduled for Saturday. So yeah, we're glad to be up 1-0. We'll see how the other two matches go. It's a tough team, and looking forward to watching them and tracking them.
For sure. And then small interruption, we just have Flanders finishing off his sixth objective as the Kaipo guards go down just as Martin is finishing off Golbez and Dwarf Castle. So that, I believe, is going to put that matchup at 1-1 with Sorbius having defeated Guerin yesterday.
And that means you will be playing the rubber match for that, won't you?
Yes, against Scarcerer on Saturday.
Nice. Good luck. Good to see you game 3.
Always fun to have it right on the third one. And in this case, though, I'm saying fun in parentheses, but here we are. So any other thoughts, Iker, on the seed, kind of on how you're feeling, the flag set in general?
Flag set's interesting. And this one was a lot faster than any of the other ones I've run, just because like all the objectives just fell into place. Like, okay, there's the hook, there's the rat tail, let's go turn that in, let's grab a Cecil, go turn him in and get Magma Key. Okay, I picked up the Adamant and the Legend Sword on the way somewhere. And then I'm just surprised Darkness came that early. Darkness has been my bane in these seeds, trying to find it, and I didn't really expect it to be at Dwarf, but it was there. So none of my seeds go this well. So we'll see how the other 2 weeks I plan go.
I think every single person came down, checked a Dwarf, immediately bounced off the Val, and then was like, I'll come back later. And then it kind of came down to how much later that ended up being.
Oh yeah, that Val could be evil if you have Berserk, but if you didn't see the Crystal Sword and pick up the Cecil in the hook route, then that could be brutal.
Yep, and even with that, I want to say Martin got through that Val after picking up an Excal in Tamra, and then lost the 50-50 with Golbez, unfortunately, and then went into Zod into Tower Zod into Baron into Tower, and then came back. So that's kind of how it played out, and Pyramid kind of doing the same. So your matchup, Pyramid's just now kind of going up against Golbez. So
just about spying Darkness Crystal.
Yep.
Yeah, and those are 2 evil fights to have in front there. If you don't have the Berserk, you don't have the way to do lots of damage, then I can see putting it off for a bit. So I had the Cecil, I knew where the stuff was, and I went and picked it up.
Indeed. Well, since Flanders wrapped up, Dave, any other questions for Iker?
No, I think we'll let Iker go. GG's on your win.
Yep, thanks, and thanks for tracking and commentating. Appreciate all the hard work. I'll let you go interview Super Sexy Flanders.
Thanks so much.
And we're joined by Stupid Sexy Flanders. GG's.
GG's. Hello.
So well done. How are you feeling about this race? About this race? About this matchup?
Considering that this was when I was watching the restream, or not the restream, but the stream of like the introduction to the teams, and this was one that 4 people get together, and the general vibe, I think it was this team of the commentators during the stream was like, oh, that's a killer team, or it was in the chat or something like that, and I was like, great, and I'm going up against that team first. Awesome. So I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty satisfied with the outcome, obviously.
No, for sure. You made a lot of really good plays. We were curious. Like, you got that Baron key really early on, doing the flame dog check early, and didn't quite pan out. But we were curious, like, whoa, we got tower key. Where is that going to lead? Et cetera, and kind of seeing around. But once you got underground, your routing was pretty tight.
Yeah, once I saw the tower key, it incentivized me to go check out the top. That incentivizes me to go to the lower Babel. I think that's where I got the pan, and then it was like, okay, well, I got the pan. There is no reason for me to do anything else because now it's just a matter of finding the darkness crystal. So let's just start gaining some levels through the Sylph Cave. Hopefully we stumble into something. If that doesn't work out, let's go to Dwarf Castle because it's definitely 2 checks. And this is a little RNG. I feel like key item seeds are very RNG heavy versus sometimes you get seeds with this flag set and it's not necessarily. It's more completion than it is key items. Or you just have to get the darkness crystal and then beat up all the bosses and find your experience somewhere.
No, for sure, and it definitely worked out. There were definitely in this particular seed, like a lot of rabbit holes that you can definitely go down. So you managed to kind of avoid those, and I think everybody when they first came down bounced off that Val. So going back in when you did and getting that darkness crystal just really set you up to just clean up the rest.
Yeah, I didn't run anything too, like you said, I didn't run into a rabbit hole. I didn't do anything too silly. I probably could have made the antlion fight a little bit faster than I did, but, all I had to do was make sure someone was moon veiled and I was through, so I was like, okay, you can work with that.
Sure. Dave, any thoughts or questions?
You've covered the big ones, mostly covering. I think you've covered everything major I had.
Great. I think I covered everything. So Flanders, any last thoughts, any call-outs or anything you want to make?
Bring your own Bacchus. I'm going to give a shout out to those folks. I think don't remember who's I don't know if they're playing tonight or some other night, but shout out to the teammates. Glad that the tournament's happening. Always appreciate a good Final Fantasy IV free enterprise tournament. Just pretty stoked and felt like I played as well as I could have played. I don't have any. What I would say is you can walk away from doing a race being like, I played well. It was just the seed that maybe didn't give it to me, and that's fine. So, and that's how I'm feeling right now. Except, instead of that's fine, it's like, and it worked out for me. So cool. And GG's to Martin as well.
For sure. Thank you so much. So, I think with that, we'll go ahead and let you go as we watch kind of the final wrap-up of this race.
All right, great. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And we are joined by Martin Broadcloak.
Well, that was an adventure.
Well, last occasion it comes for us all, doesn't it?
You bounce off something, and it's like, well, we'll just come back later, and then you come back later, and Golbez decides yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely that feeling of what might have been if you not lost the 50-50.
Oh, I went back and looked. Where I was at and what I had left, and knowing where Glass Hats and I had a moon veil, it's like, yeah, that would have been something, but not to be this time, sadly.
Nope. And it's interesting to see because you and Pyramid kind of ended up chasing that entire line down, because it makes sense. You're already above ground. You just did the pan. Let's go check Zot. And then you check Zot. Then you move into Baron. And then you check the tower because, those are kind of leading into each other all the time. It's just sitting at Dwarf, which you know, the first time I think everybody went down into Dwarf Castle,
Mhm.
hit that, bounced off of it, especially that first time down when you're relying on Bahamut and
I didn't
Val
know if I
staring
could
at you.
sneak Bahamut in on that one, so I try. As soon as I saw her, I'm like, I should just reset, but we're gonna try and be sneaky and get that, first Bahamut charge in just to see if it would fly. I probably could have did the fight if I had moved Sid to the middle.
Mm-hmm.
It would have taken a minute, but it was doable. But I'm like, I have Cecil. Let me just go find a stick. I'll come back later. And yeah,
And it
It
just wasn't to
happens.
be. Yep.
it happens. So short of that, I thought I played very well. Spoilers: don't parry with Cecil when you're going up against Antlion. Moonveil doesn't do a lot when you do that. So
Fun fact, you weren't the only one to do that either.
Nah. So no, it was a good seed. I enjoyed it. Obviously, all the credit to Flanders. Yeah, just bouncing off of Golbez. So
As they say, sometimes it be that way.
it do be that way.
All right. Any questions or thoughts, Dave?
I do. So after the Golbez incident, was it actually going to be your last location, your last check? Like, whether it was back half of
I
Sylph
was
play
going
or-
back. The plan was once the Bahamut didn't fire, it's like, okay, let's go do the let's go look at the Fame Arch. Let's get warriors out of the way. Let's see what's there. I saw as soon as I bought the X-Cal, I knew I had my way through. And then I saw Dark Elf and Antline. It's like, okay, well, I saw Glass Hats earlier in the seed, so I know where they are. Tripped on a Moonveil in my travels. It's like, cool, now it's free. So all I have to do is, go down there once I find my go mode. Went back after doing the front half of Self and Sheila 1, and yeah, all the fights and all the targets. As soon as he sniped Rydia, I knew what was coming. Because I know what the damage coming out at that spot is, and I probably should have just reset right then and there. But I had to play it out. So then at that point, yes, it was going to be a last location thing. When I got that Luca key at the end, I thought about just going down there and just fading Dwarf and saying, okay, if it's exactly Dwarf, I've already lost. So let me go down Luca and see what happened, but it wouldn't have mattered.
Fair enough. Well, as discussed, that sets up a one-on-one with the Team No Springs versus.
Yeah, you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like you could have made
What was
it
it you were
for
saying
me.
earlier? Something about don't put the stress on me? Okay.
You know,
well, there you
apparently I shouldn't have said anything.
It's all according to plan.
Mhm.
See?
So you heard, don't put that stress on me, and said, I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So,
True teammate through and through.
Yep.
So no, but anybody else you want to shout out or
no,
any other thoughts,
obviously,
Ryan?
like I said, Flanders ran a heck of a race, so all the credit to him. Very well played. I saw Ikir even came in before that, so very well done.
Iker like routed extremely well.
Yeah, very well done. So no, but other than that, looking forward to we'll brush up on how not to get bought by Golbez and be ready for next week.
Sounds good. All right. Well, thank you, sir.
Yep, not a problem.
And that wraps us up for tonight. So everybody who stuck around and watched all this, thank you so much for the time. I want to make sure to give a shout outs to my co-commentator, NG Dave, to Y2 Sky, and names are hard.
Ribbon Quest and
Ribbon Quest,
Neobari.
thank you. And Neobari. I knew Neobari. I was missing Ribbon. Ribbon Quest and Y2 Sky on the tracking. Neobari is our restreamer. And yeah, thanks so much for the audience. You guys tuning in and watching this. We're going to be raiding over into Free End 2 for those races. Once they go live for the second part of this doubleheader. Again, the usual, don't spoil anything. People are going to want to watch the restream. and don't get newspapered.
And enjoy the next 8 minutes or so of music before we head over.
Indeed. So thank you all, and have a great evening.